Joy! Joy here! It's a Saturday. It is October 29, 2022. And oh my goodness, we had the most marvelous, cool but not cold rain all day yesterday. Just gentle rain. Oh my goodness. You know, the kind that the ground slowly soaks up and it doesn't wash your entire driveway down the road and into the lake. Nice, gentle, wonderful rain. We really needed it. It was just wonderful. We actually, it's been so long since it's rained here. We put the Jeep outside of the garage and we put my car outside of the garage so it would rain on them. And we get a free car wash. So what am I holding? I have had so many comments on this pattern. And somebody in the UK commented just recently and said, oh, I would love to get that pattern, but I can't get it. So let me tell you, this pattern, you all have liked it so much. I mean, you saw me wearing it in the laundry room and everybody loved it. This one right here. Now, the thing that makes this top the cutest, in my opinion, is the stripe. It's a very interesting stripe. It's not just, you know, plain old black lines on a white background. And then this is another one that I made, same way. But this one's a simpler stripe, but still a different kind of stripe. And I made it a third way without the triangles in it. You can make it plain top or that slanted top. So this is it. It's the only hot patterns I own because I love the pattern. I wanted to make it with those stripes and I really like that. So it's number 1189. Hot Pattern still has it, but somebody said they couldn't buy it. And I don't understand that because it's a download. This is mine. It wasn't, they sent me a pattern in a pattern envelope. I downloaded it from the internet. It comes instantly. Then you have to tape all the papers together, but you know, so what? Put on some music, put on a good book, and tape the pieces together. You can see that I tape the white papers together, and then you can tell by the green paper how I did my full bust adjustment. So after I did this, then I cut it apart. I cut the pieces apart, see, they're just taped together. Here's a piece, and here's a piece. See, this big triangle here, and this big triangle here. And then this piece in the bottom that has the point right here. So, if for some reason you really can't get it and you can't even download it, just take a simple t-shirt, dolman sleeve pattern. There's a whole bunch of them out there, even free ones. And look at mine here. And look at the picture. There's a picture at hotpatterns.com right here. And just chop your pattern up. It will just be, instead of one piece for the front, it will be 3 pieces for the front. And you'll add seam allowances, of course. And you'll sew this piece to this piece. If you sew this piece to this piece, you don't have that point anymore. And you have a straight place right here to sew this piece on. Does that make sense? So this piece to this piece, then this piece to those two that will already be together. And the back is just plain. There's nothing in the back. Of course, mine will have something in the back. You'll want to see the back. Hold on. I haven't found the back yet, but I found the front. So let me show you how the front looks. You can see the neckline right here. That's the neckline. This is the shoulder. And this is the bust dart that it didn't have. It's not going to come with the bust dart, but I put one in it. So, this piece goes here. Now this that I'm pinning it to, that's not it. This what I'm pinning it to is 6418. What's 6418? Butterick 6418 is the one I just did a zillion hour tutorial on. I called it a sew along, but but it's not really so long. Nobody even sewed along except Char. And she's not done yet. Don't put pins in your mouth. So, you take these two pieces. These two pieces, this is the pointy one that goes right here. See? And you're going to sew this piece to this piece. And good luck figuring this out. This is bust dart right there. So that goes like that. And this piece sews to this piece. Okay, does that make sense? You'll put them together. Let's play like we're sewing it together. Here, Dottie. This is my chicken Dottie. And of course there's a chicken pattern. Look up chicken pin cushion. It's the funnest thing to make. Don't put pins in your mouth. I made 2 of them. And I would have made 100 of them. You know, you use so many big chicken pin cushions in your life. But they are fun. Okay, so you would sew those 2 pieces together. And then you would have this whole piece. See? Now doesn't that look easy now? So you have this whole piece. And so then you take this piece, which is stripes going one way here and stripes going one way over there. And, come over here, Dottie. And you put, let me see, there's a bust dart. This is upside down and backwards. This goes like this, see? So right here in the center, but you're just sewing a straight line. You don't have a point anymore. It is so cool. This would go right here. And this would sew over to here. See how easy it is? Just take a plain, simple pattern if you cannot figure out a way to get this downloaded. I don't think it's very expensive. You know, probably 10 bucks, maybe 20 at the most. See? So there's the front. Bust dart, neckline, and the bottom. Let's see how I did the stripes. I did the stripes like this, and here I drew a line, and it says stripe, and there's a big line with arrows on it that says stripe goes that way. And on the bottom, the stripe goes straight up and down, and it's on there also, but it's on the other side. And then this one here, the stripes go this way, diagonal. Now you need to do it in a knit, because in a knit, there's no bias. And so it's not going to have weird stretch one way or the other, or more stretch one way or the other. It's going to, you know, get a two-way stretch. But that's it, friends. Here's my bust dart. There's a bust dart, and there's a bust dart because of my FBA. Now, I haven't found the back yet. Hold on. So here's the back of the pattern. I printed it out, taped it together in whatever size I made. Looks like I made a size 12. Oh, isn't that nice? I wore a size 12. That's a joke. But anyway, in this particular pattern, I wore a size 12. Here you can see my paper added in for the round back. And I didn't have to make a very big one. Just a very little round back. Here you can see I trimmed the neck down because I don't like a high neck. And then right here, you can't see it very good, but I cut it from here to here and I crossed it over. I crossed it over right here. See, this was just stuck together straight here. And I cut it and lapped it over, and you can see right here is how much my sway back correction is. See? And you see me wear it, and you've seen how good it fits me. This is the back. Look how easy it is. You don't have to put a sleeve in. I mean, the sleeve isn't even a sleeve. It just, you sew, you start sewing here and sew down, and you just don't go any further. It's the easiest sleeve on the planet. It is a little roomy in there, but I need to make it again. It's really a cute pattern. So for all of those people who said, what is that pattern? We love it. This is it. Hot Patterns. I guess it's hotpatterns.com. Is that on here? No, but search Hot Patterns and I'm sure it'll come up. Hotpatterns.com, and this is number 1189. and you can download it. It is called Fast and Fabulous Shirt. And then it says dash T-A-I-L-L. That must be a different language. I don't know what T-A-I-L-L means. But Fast and Fabulous Shirt out of a knit. And you can see I made that in April of 2020. And I've made it 3 times. Okay, my friends, I hope that answers it for you. Now I've got to get back to my pumpkins. I'm going to have the top done today. Not quilted, but done. And I did a super thing. My little sister Judy said, oh, no, you're doing it all wrong. You need this instead of that. That's my interpretation. She said it much nicer. But she's actually a real artist. You know, I'm a nobody, but she's actually a real artist, was born with that talent. And so she gave me a tip, and she was right, and it worked, and I love it, and I'll show it to you later in this video, which for you will be right now. Let's talk maple leaves. You can see here, I just cut one. This is number 3 leaf, this is number 3 veins. This is number 2 leaf and veins. What my goal was to make it as big as the pumpkins. I didn't want a little leaf in the middle. I wanted a big leaf. And I made a mistake. And so here's a tip. I learn something new every day, don't y'all? I learn something new every day. What you have to do, well, you don't usually have to do it, but in this case, I need to iron the leaf. You know, it's got the steam-a-seam 2 light on the back of it. I don't like the heat and bond. It doesn't work as good. The heat and bond, if you heat it too much, it doesn't bond anymore. You can put a lot more heat on the steam-a-seam 2 light. So, I first ironed the veins to the leaf. Then, I put the whole thing on this piece of yellow fabric and I put it upside down and I ironed it. Same thing happened when I ironed that shirt for Jerry. Remember Jerry's birthday shirt, the red one? And I said that when I ironed the vinyl on, that it got crunched in places because of the metal in the bottom of the ironing board. The top of the ironing board has metal bars going across it. Same thing on this. It totally wrinkled up. I ironed it and ironed it and ironed it and ironed it and ironed it. I thought, oh, I'm going to use it. Finally, I decided, no, I couldn't stand it. So I had cut another leaf. Let me go get it. Can I get it? Hold on. So this was actually leaf number 2, veins number 2. I had cut it out originally, first time, and it was too small. It was, you know, I don't know, 1/2 inch smaller than this all the way around. And so when this one got messed up, I decided to just use the first one. And I spent, I don't know, 30 minutes sewing all around it. I put it on the yellow fabric, and then I sewed all around the veins and all around the leaf, you know, to applique it down with my sewing machine with the invisible thread. And so then I sewed it into the quilt, and I decided I don't like it, it's too small. It needs to be as big as the pumpkins. So this is number 3. So I wanted to show you just something mysterious and weird about this cutout. When I put the leaf design, which I got from Etsy, when I put it into Canvas Workspace, it put a box around it. You choose it, it puts a box around it. Well, it puts a box around it in a certain shape. And it tells you it's 8.5 by 9 or 9.3 by 8.2 or whatever. Well, I could not figure out, and y'all tell me if you know this, because it's probably super simple. I wanted to turn the leaf. It was measuring the leaf, say, oh, I don't know. Let's say it was measuring it like this. From here to here and here to here. I wanted it to measure it from here to here and here to here. You see? Well, I couldn't turn the leaf. Every time I tried to turn the leaf, it just turned the whole box. It turned the whole box with it, and I could not turn the leaf around. I mean, I could, but the box went with it. Does that make any sense? It didn't to me. So anyway, my lightning fast mind 2 days later figured out, okay, finished cutting. Finished out, move the leaf over here to the scan and cut. Make my leaf material bigger than I need the block to be. So this is 10 by 10. My blocks are 9.5 by 9.5 before they're sewn together. So they end up 9-inch blocks, okay? So can you see I drew a 9-inch block inside this? And so then when I had the scan and cut, put the leaf on top of this material. You scan this. I scanned this, and so the scan and cut saw this and it saw this. And I was able to see these lines that I drew. And so I was able to then turn the leaf in the direction I wanted it and shrink it to fit inside those lines, because I want this to be a 9-inch leaf, right? Am I making sense? I want it to be 9 by 9. So I turned it the way I wanted it to fit, to look like it was falling, and then I shrunk it 3%, and it fit right inside these lines. Now the veins don't matter. They fit fine because they're smaller than the leaf, but I had to shrink them 3% also. So how about that? I'm so proud of myself. So you want to see? Let's see, let's see. Get your hook. Instead of pulling the leaf out, I pull the fabric off. Look. Isn't such a surprise? It is to me. I'm so easily entertained. Look at that! Are you excited? Oh my goodness, look at that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it on something flat and not with any metal bars underneath it. And I'm going to iron it onto the yellow first. Then I'm going to take the veins and I'm going to iron them on top of the leaf. Then I'm going to take just that one block to my sewing machine and again applique everything down with my small zigzag with the feed dogs down and get this ready to put in my quilt. So I just wanted to tell you that for my scan and cut friends. And you know, the thing about it is I don't do that much scan and cut. I need to take this book. My friend Deb gave me this book. I wonder if there's a place. Oh, there is a place for notes. And so I need to write down Project Pumpkin Quilt and write down the notes of what I just learned with my lightning fast mind. I'll do that. So I've got my leaf. I've got my square. So I took my ruler and I drew on here. First I cut a 10 by some measurement. It's supposed to be 10 by 10, but it came out 10 by 12 piece of background fabric. Then I drew on the background fabric a 9.5-inch square. Then I drew inside the square a 1/4 inch with this ruler, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, and you can see I have my frame for my leaf. So now I'm going to iron it on this instead of this. This is what has these metal, real hard metal things underneath it. I guess, you know, it has to have them to hold itself up, but you don't want to iron appliques or vinyl. So here's my leaf. It's already got the sticky stuff on the back, the steam machine. So I'm going to turn it. Although be sure you put the sticky stuff down and not up. I almost ironed that to my iron. I want it to look like it's falling. And since I had my thing out there, it came out just perfect. Oh my goodness. I want it to go, I want it to fill up this area as much as it can, because I want it to be as big as the pumpkins. Now it's not a square, it's more of a rectangle. So I'm not going to be able to go completely edge to edge, but I can get a whole lot closer than the small leaf that I used a while ago. It goes all the way here and it goes all the way here, but it doesn't on this point and this point. So I'm going to move it so this point and this point are the same distance from the edge. That is a measurement that I can't even tell you what it is. 3/16. And then this is the closest over here, and it's a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to move it just a tad. A tad. Now that's a 1/4. And that's a little more, less than a 1/4. So I'm going to pull it over a teeny tad, itty bitty more. Now I'm going to get this thing with a little slide on it. Now if you're not a perfectionist like me, slap that leaf down there and go applique it down. Jerry and I are both perfectionists, which is good. It'd be horrible to be married to somebody who wasn't when you are one. All right, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. This is all the way, this is all the way, so that's my leaf. Yay! So, I'm excited. All right, let's put the leaf down first because we don't want it all wrinkled up like the last one did. My Rowenta Perfect Steam. It's purple or some other color now. It's in my Amazon store. But if you want steam, woo, howdy, can't beat this. Buy the extended warranty for it and you'll get at least 3-4 years out of it. Now, of course, it's making my friction marker go away. Now, I don't want to iron it too much. I'm going to let it cool. Now see, no wrinkles. No wrinkles. I'm so excited. Wish I'd done it that way to start with. So now I've got to put the veins in the leaf, okay? And here they are. And you can see it's like a tangled up mess if you're not careful. So you have to do this gently and patiently and be sure you get the sticky side down. I can't tell you how many times I have done it and not gotten the sticky side down. I think that's a sticky side. How many pair of tweezers do y'all have in your sewing room? I've got at least 10, at least. You think I can ever find them? Probably inside my sewing boxes. So I'm going to arrange, oh, this is just the coolest leaf. I got this from Etsy. It's the one I was originally going to do before I found the leaves in my yard. But as you know, I changed my mind because of my sister's tip. And she was absolutely right. Both of my sisters are super smart and talented. My sister that's just a year younger, she's an interior designer. And I mean, she can take a house plan and redesign it. That type of thing. And then my little sister was like an artist when she was 2, so. Anyway, hey, that looks real good. So now I'm going to gently, now remember, the first one I did just wrinkled up. So I'm not going to apply steam. I think I applied the steam too quick, so I'm not going to do steam. This is steam a seam, but I just think the steam is what caused it to wrinkle up so bad. I'll show you up real close. See? Ah! Remember the first one that I showed you, how awful it looked? So now I'm going to go over to my sewing machine. It's still set up from yesterday, and I am going to applique this. I'm going to sew it down because this is just going to be a blanket in the coach for fall. And it's going to be washed many times. So I want to make sure this leaf is going to stay. I'm sure somebody's going to ask me this, so I'm just going to put it in this video. I have 2 kinds of temporary adhesive that I use when I do applique. I use 505 temporary adhesive, or I use KK 2000. Now this stuff costs about $1 million an ounce. I think this one's cheaper. And I get this one from Amazon. I usually buy like a case of it if I can. So this is what I use. And you know I do exaggerate a bit, right? Okay. So I take this board, this ugly board. You can see I've had it for 1,000 years. I've had it probably since Tammy was a baby. You're supposed to put a t-shirt over it, see? And then paint your shirt, and it's called a painted board for tees and sweats. But I use it for this so I don't get this all over my sewing room. So I spray this tearaway. This tearaway is ancient also. It's at least 20 years old. And I bought it from OESD many years ago when OESD was in Edmond, Oklahoma. They used to have a cafeteria there, and they had classes there, embroidery classes. And I absolutely loved to go to those classes. They were wonderful. I hated it when they moved. So I put this ugly thing between my refrigerator and my wall. And I come back over here. I have my leaf ironed on. I have the veins ironed on. This is wonderful to use as my ironing board. I learned that when I was doing Jerry's shirts. And so then you figure out what side's the sticky side, and you stick this to the back. There are iron-on tearaway stabilizers. There's iron-on stabilizers, but if I iron the stabilizer on, I'm going to use my 9.5-inch mark. I've almost lost it already. So I've got that on there now. It's not going to go anywhere. And I am going to go sew this now with my sewing machine and my embroidery foot. And y'all have watched me do that so many times, I'm sure you don't need to see that again. So I'll bring it back and show it to you when I get it done. See the back? Now you can see the back of the tearaway. It tears, and it's a pretty stiff one. It's not real thin, it's pretty stiff. And you can see now there's no sewing. When I get done, you'll see the whole leaf and all the veins back here, and then I'll tear all this tearaway away from it. I just want to show you the leaf after I have embroidered all the way around it. Now I used a very pale color in the bobbin. I started out with light yellow, then I started out with a soft cream on the back. The upper thread was the invisible thread, but you can see that there's a few times when that sneaky back thread pulled through to the front. I hate when it does that. But I figure from the back of a running horse, or I'll rip that out and redo that one little spine, or what do you call it, vein of the leaf. Most of them, the background thread did not come through. And why every once in a while it wants to, I do not know. I will just redo that leaf right there because I just don't like it to look like that. So here's the back. Now you remember there was nothing back here. And now you can see all the veins in the leaf and all the way around the outside of the leaf. And I did that all with the feed dogs down and the needle just flying up and down in the air. So I moved all that myself from point to point to point and around the curves. Takes a lot of practice to do that, but it goes really quick. I can do this faster than those software programs that Simply Applique. I can do this faster than Simply Applique can do it. I'm going to remove all this tearaway. Tearaway tears away. Yes, tearaway tears away. So I don't only tear it away from around the outside, I tear it away from all of this inside part too. And since I've got to go fix that one vein, I'm just going to go do that right now before I tear off too much tearaway. I just wanted to show you how you don't have to have an embroidery machine to do that. I just sewed my leaf in. That's not the right way. Huh? Isn't it nice? And so then here's the back after I tore off all of the tearaway. So the tearaway is just underneath the stitching. There's hardly any of it left. So the block is still soft. Oh, and it's still got some, the clear thread. You know, I told you before, I gave you this tip about the invisible thread. It's invisible. You cannot see it. You just about have to run your fingers across it and see if any of it's sticking out anywhere in order to find it. But, okay, I'm going to sew all the rows together and add some borders. I'll come back and show you when I get that part done. This is the day after the day before. I decided to go ask Sideburns to take me on a date last night, so we went to Kingston and had some dinner. But I've been working on the pumpkins. You've watched me so far do the leaf, and I finally finished the leaf, and here it is. And it reaches from here to here as big as the pumpkins and almost from here to here. But being the shape of a leaf, you know, it can't be the same exact as a pumpkin. So I found this luscious batik. I went in there to look for a backing for this quilt and I found this, which is perfect for the backing. But I thought, oh my goodness, I love it for the fronting. So I thought maybe I'd just put it on the top and the bottom to make it like a rectangle instead of a square, since I just want to use it for a throw in the RV, you know, and it's getting pretty big for a throw. So my thing is now, what do I want to bind it with? I put these green hearts in here because I started out wanting to do green borders, remember? Probably you don't remember. It's a wonder I remember. So I have the dark green that I was going to do a border with, and I have that green over there I was going to do an inner border with. But now I'm looking at it for bindings. So I've got the dark right here, and I've got the lighter green over there, and I actually like the lighter green. So I can't finish it. I mean, I could finish it and get it on the long arm, but I don't know what I want to do to finish it. So I need your help. Would you help me? Should I add another border to the sides? I certainly can. I got tons of that fabric. And then should I bind it in the green? You know, I've got these green hearts in here. You know, I have to make sense out of these green hearts. It's like, why are those green hearts there? Why are those burgundy hearts there? They make no sense. However, I do have burgundy in this. So I thought, yay. I've got the orange, the yellow, and the burgundy. So that makes sense. But there's no green in this at all. So I thought, well, I can just bind it with the green. And then that will tie it all together. So tell me what y'all think. I might go ahead and finish it. I might ask Jerry and see what he thinks. But I just saw Edita yesterday. Did y'all watch Edita yesterday? She has her live, is it Facebook Live or YouTube Live or something every Friday. And she did a quilt with just the borders on two sides. I don't know if it was top and bottom or the sides, but she just did two borders. And I thought, hey, I could do that. So, I don't know. I really like it. I think it's super cute. I mean, it's nothing fancy or special or anything, you know. But I think it's a real cute fall quilt, you know, for a throw in the RV. Although it's getting pretty large. It's not large enough for the king-size bed, though. But, I don't know. Quilts are funny that way. You know, when you're doing your own thing, my sister always says, you just need to do it your own way. Well, I'm not really that creative. So I don't know. I think I like the light green. I think right now what I like is this light green because it's got the green, it's got the orange, it's got the yellow, and it's got the burgundy. So I'm thinking I like this. I don't want it for another border because it's getting too big, but I think it would look fine for the binding. So this is kind of where I'm leaning, is using this for the binding. And so that means it would be on the edge of this batik and then on the edge of this plain part here. So it would be different, you know, it wouldn't be like every other quilt. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I just talked myself into what I want to do. So I've already convinced myself. Probably you've been hollering at me, do this, do this, do this, and so I figured it out. So I'm just going to have the two borders, and I'm going to use this green, not this one. Goodbye. Oh, I love this board. Oh my goodness. You can get one of these. I don't remember what it's called, but if you want to be a quilter, you have to have one of these boards. If anybody wants to know, ask me, and I'll put it in the description box. So I'm going to use this for the binding. Just this border and that border. I'm putting it on the long arm like this. Then when I get it all quilted, I'll bind it with this one right here. And I think it'll be really different. You know, people can like visit me, like anybody ever would, but say we're in a campground sometime, you know, and somebody comes to visit me, and it's the fall, and I have my pumpkin quilt out, and they can sit there and say, I wonder why she did that like that, Mildred. Oh my goodness. I'll let you go. I'll be back soon. I don't know what I'll be doing, but I'll keep you posted.